Today's topic is neonatal resuscitation for discussion. Friends, when the baby is in the mother's womb, we call it as a fetus. For all its needs, baby was depending on the mother, whether it is respiration, nutrition, excretion, many other functions. But once the baby comes out, it has to depend on its function. Mainly, soon after birth, the number one function it has to establish is respiration. Baby was not taking oxygen from the air, atmosphere into the lungs when it is inside the womb. It is through the placenta the oxygen was supplied by the mother. But now the baby has to establish respiration. If the baby failed to establish respiration, we call it as birth asphyxia. Among the neonatal deaths, 23% of the deaths are due to birth asphyxia in the neonatal period. That's the importance of neonatal resuscitation program. In the fetal life, the lungs are not functioning. They are filled with alveoli are filled with the fluid. The vessels are constricted, are in a state of constriction. No blood flow in them. But once the baby comes out, with the first breath, the alveoli opens and blood starts flowing into the pulmonary vessels. The gases exchange takes place and baby establishes its own respiration. And look at here, the alveoli, they are filled with this thing, and the blood vessels, they are constricted. In this picture, you can see that the fetal circulation, wherein the right side of the heart receives oxygenated blood from the placenta, that goes to the aorta through the ductus arteriosus, that is a connection between the pulmonary trunk and the aorta. I mean to say, the blood in the fetal life doesn't go to the pulmonary artery, it goes to the aorta to supply oxygen to the whole body. So look at here, after birth, with the first breath, alveoli open, fluid which is present in the alveoli is absorbed into the lymphatics. The blood vessels which are in a state of constriction now starts opening up and gaseous exchange takes place, taking oxygen in and giving out carbon dioxide into the alveoli. So look at here in the postnatal life. The ductus arteriosus is so big, now it is constricted. It means to say the blood starts moving into the pulmonary vessels. What can go wrong during transition? Baby may not breathe sufficiently. Meconium may block air from entering the alveoli. Excessive blood loss or poor cardiac contractility or bradycardia, resulting in systemic hypertension and the persistent pulmonary hypertension. I told you, they are in a state of constriction because of the high resistance and that resistance to pulmonary vessels might continue for a longer period, and that state is called persistent pulmonary hypertension. So this is an important slide here. When newborn first becomes deprived of oxygen, what it does? An initial period of rapid breathing, you can see here, initial rapid breathing. And if oxygen demand is not met by then it goes into apnea. So after a short period, the baby makes a second attempt to breathe in the form of gasping. If the oxygen demand is not met even then it goes to a secondary apnea. Final apnea we call it as. Look at the changes of the heart rate and BP during these events. Heart rate initially when there is a rapid breathing increases, and with the apnea it comes down, even the BP also. And with the second attempt of the baby making an attempt to breathe, that is the form of gasping, the heart rate and BP again they slightly rise. And if the oxygen demand is not met even by then they become flat. So the heart rate comes down, BP also will come down with a secondary apnea. When the baby is in apnea in the labor room, we don't know whether it is a primary or a secondary apnea clinically. We should consider when there is an apnea, this is a final apnea only or the secondary apnea, and start giving positive pressure ventilation, that is resuscitation. We have to initiate neonatal resuscitation. Otherwise, we lose the baby. What is our object? Establish clear airway, support adequate ventilation, maintain adequate cardiac output, reduce heat loss. These are the 4 principles. Here is a big list of causes for baby going into birth asphyxia requiring resuscitation. This is a big list, antepartum factors and interpartum factors. Please go through it. Need for resuscitation can come as a complete surprise.